I'm not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So just starting off, for those of you out in California dealing with the fires, I am sending you all my prayers. This is like one of the most devastating things to see. I'm sending you guys all my prayers, love, support. This is one of those moments where us banding together and doing what we can, it won't solve everything, but it can definitely help. So now, this is a timeless reading. I'm filming this in January of 2025, so at the start of the year. And basically, we are doing a little bit of an Akashic record check-in and looking into why your soul chose this life. So we're just getting some information as to why your soul chose a specific timeline to incarnate into, and maybe offer up a little bit of insight as to maybe why you guys have experienced certain patterns or cycles or experiences or lessons in your life, and how that could be connected to the reason that your soul chose this life, or different past lives that you guys have experienced if you subscribe to the idea of past lives. And so basically the Akashic Records is this theory in spirituality. We even see it in certain religious practices and traditions, where there's this idea that there could be some sort of collection of information and records and data that details every single feeling, thought, action, choice that has ever happened. Like I said, even certain religious traditions believe in it. And in Christianity, it is known as the Book of Life, or God's Book of Remembrance. But a lot of fate can be found in the Akashic Records. A lot of what is going to happen to not just us, but even the universe as a whole. There's a lot of esoteric cosmology that is said to be a part of the Akashic Records. And it's pretty much like a spiritual census that keeps record of our own karma and energetic signature, so to speak. And I find it really interesting that with the Akashic Records, there is this unspoken, almost like idea of past lives or reincarnation being a very real phenomenon that doesn't even just pertain to human form, but all life forms that our soul may have experienced or manifested into at some point during its journey or during its existence. To me, it makes perfect sense, but I proudly wear a tinfoil hat. So that's what we are looking into today. So let me show you guys the decks that I'm using in today's reading. Then we'll get to the disclaimers and meditation, so we can get to you guys' reading. So the oracle decks that I'm using in today's reading is the Life Purpose Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, the Archetype cards by Caroline Miss, I believe, the Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright, Kaleidodope on Astrology, the deck by Crystal Banner, and also the Green Witches Oracle deck. And for the tarot cards, I'm just using some variation of the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck. Getting to you guys' disclaimers and meditation. Obviously, this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you're just fixed to that reality, you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation, not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize at the end of the day, you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your superpower, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcomes, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions, and use this as a guide to decipher the messages your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. If you would like to participate in this meditation, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you have to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you're drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet, and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds, hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages as to the reason that your soul chose this life according to your own Akashic record. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. On pile 1, we have some version of quartz. I'm not sure, but this is what we have on pile 1. On pile 2, we have a Botswana agate. On pile 3, we have green citrine. On pile 4, we have clear quartz. All right, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with your tarot cards, then I'll be pulling some oracle cards to get some information from your AKASHIC records, basically looking into why your soul chose this life. So getting started with you guys' tarot cards, the very first one that we have is we have the King of Swords in reverse. Then we have the Ace of Wands. And then we have the Eight of Swords, also in reverse. Pile one, you guys are definitely intellects. You are thinkers, you are logical. Some of you may deal with a lot of doubts though. Not like questioning yourself, but more so like debilitating doubts that keep you from maybe taking action in certain parts of your life. They may make you question yourself to the point that it's damaged your ability to even trust yourself. You may have grown up with a parent or a caregiver that was controlling or needed everyone to think the same and have the same opinions. You may have grown up in an environment where you were expected to please your parents by being the perfect child and never acting out of turn, always being super polite, very poised, very controlled, very reserved, never speaking out of turn. You may have been sort of like told you're supposed to just sort of be seen, not heard. So a lot of you guys had to suppress your mind, is what I'm picking up here first of all. So you may have kept a lot of questions to yourself. You kept a lot of thoughts to yourself as well, because to speak them out loud, it may have been seen as like defiant or problematic. So a lot of you learned at a very young age to live inside your mind, and it was your only safe place to keep everything in. And this may have developed as you guys got older into being someone who may have struggled to speak up, to say what you truly thought and felt, but it also created this internal dilemma where it may have been difficult to determine how you feel or what you really think. It may have been hard to develop an opinion and stick to it, even because you weren't raised to have your own opinions and be an independent thinker. Something here feels religious. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's literal or more metaphorical. What your guys are kind of saying here is like, for some of you, their religion may have played a really big role in maybe your upbringing or your childhood. Maybe your family was very religious. Maybe they got a lot of their strict ways from whatever religion they may have been a part of. There's like something here happening with religion for some of you. I don't know if some of you look back on it and say like that was very cult-like or a religious cult or something. There's something strange here with religion. We'll see what comes up with your oracle cards. But yeah, the King of Swords here upright is the king of what swords rules, which is the mind, thoughts, information, and mental states. King of Swords upright is very diplomatic. He can hear different opinions, and he even encourages different opinions because of how judicious he is. He views thinking differently and independently as good and right. Him being a king means he is able to surround himself with minds that contrast him or are independent thinkers, and he never feels threatened by those because it's everyone's right to form their own perspective. So in reverse, this king can become very controlling, fearful, and intimidated by other mindsets and opinions, especially the ones that oppose his. This king in reverse can manifest as someone who is not secure enough to be intellectually challenged, which can make him tyrannical, combative, and dismissive. And so this energy was in a lot of you guys' environment growing up or at some point in your past. This could have been like in a relationship that you guys experienced in your adulthood. And whatever this is, it silenced you for a long time. Kings encourage, or it made you feel like nobody wanted to hear your opinion, or like you didn't have the right to an opinion or have a right to speak up. Kings encourage others to lead and advocate for themselves. When these cards are kings, are in reverse, they don't provide opportunity and give power. They prefer to take it away. So this king in reverse at some point in a lot of you guys' lives knew that by discouraging your own thoughts, it would lead to you not trusting your own judgment. If that's the case, because of this, some of you still hear this voice. You still experience this authoritative like presence, but more so internally and just about everything that you do. This authority figure from when you were younger or at some point in your past has almost replicated itself into a voice, a personal voice in your mind when you attempt to do something for yourself or be independent or break away from things that have you in a hold, or, you know, when you just want to sort of do things for yourself. This voice sort of comes in and it speaks pretty regularly for some of you. You guys may have a pretty harshly aspected Mercury in your natal chart as well, meaning that your natal Mercury might be squared or opposed by other planets in your chart. It might even be in conjunction with something like Saturn or Mars, especially Mars retrograde. You may have been born with Mercury retrograde. Your Mercury may be debilitated in Sagittarius or in fall in Pisces. You might have been born with Mercury in your 12th house, or you could have some planets squaring or opposing planets in your 3rd house. And this feels like a lot of squares in a natal chart. You don't have to have these placements, but whenever I feel a strong cosmic presence, I have to mention it in the reading. Also, you may have been born with Mercury conjunct your moon, especially if moon is debilitated in Capricorn or if she is in fall in Scorpio. And this can make someone a bit more reserved in expressing their true feelings. And it'll depend on a lot of other factors in a chart, but I don't want to get too deep. Otherwise, we'll be here all day with your reading. But yeah, anyways, pile one, your soul chose to incarnate into this timeline, in this incarnation that you are currently experiencing, solely to defy authoritative figures, personalities, and forces. You guys incarnated here to really embrace speaking up for yourself. And that may be why it's been such a common theme throughout your life to run into these sort of forces or presences in your life that try to silence you or they try to control you. And you guys were born to challenge a lot of things, pile one, whether it's the mainstream or people that abuse positions of power or certain ideologies or change traditions and break patterns. You guys are meant to disrupt certain environments, and it'll be different for each of you how that manifests or what that looks like, but this will be personal to your experience. So for example, let's say you grew up where you experience some sort of indoctrination by, let's say, the church. You may have a strong visceral reaction to religion at this point in your life, and it may lead you to, at some point in this life, challenge the way that the church operates by opposing its teachings. Or this could lead you to creating your own safe haven for believers and maybe setting up your own church where you encourage people to ask questions and think differently. Let's say you grew up with a controlling parent or a parental figure. You may choose not to have a family of your own, or you might raise your own children to be loud and bold. The thing that's going to get you activated, pile one, is for sure other people, dealing with other people's oppression. A lot of you may notice that you'll speak up for other people that you see like maybe being mistreated or dealing with injustice way before you speak up for yourself. And that's when this King of Swords in reverse gets flipped upright for you guys. Your soul also chose this life, pile one, to inspire and create other leaders with the Ace of Wands right here. Some of you as well, you may even notice that you were born, you may have come into this life dealing with something with the lungs just came through, something with the lungs. Maybe it's like asthma. You guys may have came into this life dealing with dyslexia or what's the other thing, like a speech impediment. With these two aces or these two swords cards in reverse right here. And that may be why I was picking up your Mercury energy and your natal chart being like harshly aspected. It just feels like it's a lot of pressure on your Mercury energy, your Mercury placement in your natal chart. So yeah, some of you guys, you may have been born dealing with issues surrounding communication, issues surrounding speech, things like that. That may be another sort of like presence in your life that a lot of you have dealt with. There could be very heavy social anxiety here with the Eight of Swords in reverse being so in your head that it's really difficult for you to engage in social environments and social events and social interactions. You may feel like, again, like nobody wants to hear me speak. You guys may have been timid at some point in your life when it came to social activities or, social environments. it may have been very difficult for a lot of you guys to make friends, even at this point in your life. For some of you, you may be an adult that's well into your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and still feel like you don't have a lot of friends in this life, or feel like it's very difficult for you to meet people, or very difficult for you to make friends and to make connections, because you guys are really, really in your mind about socializing or speaking to people. It's like, it feels like a lot of pressure, or it feels very like you're worried about saying the wrong thing or maybe offending people. With your King of Swords in reverse, it's like you guys have this strange subconscious awareness, almost unconscious awareness, that you have, the words have power, and that you guys carry power. Your voice is very powerful. But again, for a lot of you, you haven't activated it, or it hasn't been activated in a particular experience just yet, like a life experience. That is something that will eventually happen if it hasn't happened already for a lot of you. But a lot of you, it's like your soul is aware that there is a lot of power in the way that you speak. You guys have spent several lifetimes, past lives, if you believe in that sort of thing. You guys have spent several past lives using your voice to trigger certain reactions, or to trigger certain movements almost in your own life, and to break certain patterns and karmic sort of experiences. So you guys are very aware of that. It just, again, it hasn't been activated. This is something that's lying dormant in a lot of you in this pile one. And that's one reason why some of you are just so, awareness is the wrong word. You guys don't realize how powerful your voice is. It's extremely powerful. You don't consciously realize it, but your spirit, your soul realizes it. Your soul knows exactly how powerful it is, which is why this is something that has to be activated. Once it's activated within you guys, you're not going to be able to stop talking. You're not going to be able to stop giving your opinion or sharing your opinion. Yeah, some of you guys are so reserved. Maybe you know that you could make people feel bad with your words, or cut people with your words, and so you hold back a lot. There's something here, like I said, you guys have a king here. Kings are powerful. They rule things, right? They're kings. But your soul knows on this very deep level that you have power in your voice and power in your words, and your soul knows how to use it. It's just a matter of it being activated, where you can make that connection between your conscious and your soul, or your spirit and your soul. And then you'll become a lot more aware of it. Some of you too, you're really good singers, but you don't sing in front of people. You're very shy. You may be very shy, or again, just extremely self-conscious when it comes to expressing yourself. Your soul also chose this life pile one to inspire and create other leaders with this Ace of Wands right here. And your guides are also showing me this metaphor with you guys breaking people out of jail cells. It's symbolic of you helping to free people mentally with the Eight of Swords right here in reverse, but also spiritually with this Ace of Wands. You have a heavy job in this lifetime. Your purpose is to be used as a tool. Like Spirit is using you as a hammer to break the hold that certain authorities and powers have over people. You incarnated here at this specific time when we're either moving into the age of Aquarius or are already in it. No one knows for certain when the age of Aquarius actually starts, because it is a 2600 year period that we cannot be sure of exactly when it starts. But you incarnated here around this age to help other souls break out of the prisons other powers are keeping them in. Some of you guys, you even experienced, or there's a really defining moment or experience that you guys had as a youth, as a kid, where maybe certain kids weren't allowed to hang out with you. Maybe you were seen as a bad influence, or you may have been seen as like somebody growing up where, you know, maybe you encouraged other kids to talk up or speak up, and then you know, other kids weren't allowed to be around you because of what you encouraged. And that may have taught you guys or conditioned you guys to kind of keep your opinions to yourself. There's some sort of point here where it's like you guys learn, like, I need to not speak or not express myself as much. Because of what it causes or because of what it does. You may have seen it in your past as like, when I speak up, things happen, you know, and that's a problem. So that sort of like encouraged you guys to not speak as much, or again, just not to express yourself fully. And have you ever seen the Tower card pile one? Spirit is using you guys as the lightning bolt. in that card. I'm actually going to put a picture of that card on the screen here. But you might at some point in your life question yourself and wonder why there's always these tower moments happening around you. But it's a really big part of your path. And the reason that your soul came here at this particular time, because you know what it's like to be mentally trapped or enslaved. And with this new age, the universe needs souls to be liberated en masse, okay? The universe has its own movement. It has its own agenda. And one of them is to liberate souls. And so you guys will also notice that your soul has come here as well to expand your knowledge and your mind with this King of Swords in reverse as well. So there may be like a lot of interests that you guys have, a lot of hobbies, a lot of things that you really like to throw yourself into or learn about or research. Okay, let's start grabbing oracle cards for you. Okay, let's see what we get for you guys. Okay, we have here trickster, light attribute, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Shadow says manipulating others through duplicity. Underneath the deck here, we have destroyer, and it says light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Shadow says intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Okay, so like I said, you guys are here to definitely destroy things. Like I said, the universe is using you guys as like the lightning bolt in the tower card. So you guys are definitely here to break down and destroy certain, basically like any sort of power that has been abusing their authority. You guys are really here to sort of like destroy that or disrupt that. So for sure, with destroyer coming out, that's really interesting. And then we have here trickster. This really confirms for me what I was picking up with you guys as King of Swords in reverse, that there was some sort of person in you guys' life at some point in your life, maybe in your childhood or maybe like even in your adulthood, there's somebody that you guys encountered in your past where they had maybe either played a lot of mind tricks or a lot of games, or they were so worried about being challenged intellectually that, again, they discouraged you. So they used a lot of mind games in order to discourage you guys and make you, like I said earlier, it almost put you guys in a space where it's difficult for you to trust yourself. So they created a lot of internal dilemma, which is exactly what I feel like this trickster card is alluding to, which is what we talked about when we were just looking at your tarot cards earlier. So that's another thing that your soul came here to do, was to almost liberate you guys or break you guys out of this sort of trick or illusion that this other person or figure or character or power or what have you had almost like put you guys under. It's like some other person put you guys under some sort of spell where they controlled you or told you that like you're supposed to be seen, not heard. It's like they discouraged you from either thinking for yourself or speaking out loud or expressing yourself or all the above. And so that's another thing that your soul came here to do, is to help you wake up and realize that is a trick that was basically conducted by somebody in your life who felt inferior or they felt disempowered. And the only way that they felt powerful was by taking other people's power. Like we talked about your King of Swords in reverse, Kings upright, they give power to other people. In reverse, they prefer to take it. And that's exactly the trick that this other figure or person or power pretty much played on you, pile one. So that's another thing that your soul is here to do, is to expose tricks. Okay. Expose things that are lies, are illusions, and secret agendas, and to basically destroy them. Okay. Okay. Let's see what other oracle cards we get for you. Where you pile one. Yeah. Wow. Let's see what we get for you, pile one. We also have here the wise one, tradition and order. Again, you guys are really meant to break traditions or establish your own traditions or question them and break order or question order. So the wise one here, you guys also have a lot of wisdom. Some of you guys, you may have been told at some point in your past that you weren't intelligent or you weren't smart, or you shouldn't engage in certain conversations because you have nothing valuable to add to them, or that you're not smart enough or you're not intelligent. You guys may have heard a lot of, or the sort of like discourse or like words that were meant to put you down. There may have been somebody that really tried to put you down. King of Swords in reverse, Eight of Swords in reverse right here. But just know that pile one, this is your guides and spirit coming through saying, no, you're extremely wise. Very, very wise. There's a reason why you guys are, that is something that may have been a constant, almost like theme or test for you in your past, is people maybe questioning your intelligence or trying to put you down. And that is because they were threatened by something that they could sense, but you had a hard time noticing. Like we talked about with your King of Swords in reverse. This is basically sort of like you guys not realizing your power. Like I said, awareness is the wrong word. It's like your soul's aware of it, but you're not consciously in tune with that just yet. This is something that has to be activated within you guys to realize like, whoa, I've got a lot to say. My words are powerful. I am intelligent. I have a lot of wisdom. I have a lot to contribute. And this is something that, again, is going to be activated within you guys if it hasn't been already, but you have a lot of wisdom. Make no mistake, pile one. You have a lot of wisdom. And then we have here the waker, awareness and reflection. What did I tell you guys? This is exactly what I was saying. The universe wants to use you guys as a hammer. Hammer, destroyer. We have hammer here. I said that. The universe wants to use you guys as a hammer to liberate other souls. You guys are a waker. Your soul is the waker. It's the wise one and the waker. You are meant to, your soul was meant to come here to help other souls awaken through your own wisdom that you're able to lend and able to share. Okay. Awareness and reflection. All right. Let's also grab a card here or a message from your life purpose. Okay. All right. So we have here leadership flipped out immediately. Then we have justice, and then career change was underneath the deck. So for you guys. Okay. So leadership here says take charge of the situation. You guys are meant to embrace your leadership. Okay. King of Swords in reverse. Something or someone is very aware of your own authority and your own power. And that is why they try to shut it down. Okay. Somebody or something is threatened by that, or they have in the past. And this is why when you, pile one, come across certain people that they just maybe didn't take to you, or it's like without even knowing you, they felt some type of way about you or didn't like you, or maybe they talked badly about you or tried to shut you down or anything like that, is because they were very threatened by what they could sense on you. That for you guys, it's like it's been lying dormant because you may have questioned your own power for a long time, because maybe either you came up in an environment where that wasn't basically fostered, your own leadership qualities and abilities. It wasn't fostered. It wasn't encouraged. Or again, that's just something that you experienced in the past where, you know, anytime you tried to maybe be independent or speak up for yourself, it was kind of shut down. But you guys have natural leadership qualities and abilities. It's actually really intertwined with your purpose here is leadership. Then we have here career change that may be on the horizon for you, pile one. It says you are embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. So some of you guys, you may be on the sort of like brink of some sort of a career change. You guys may be transitioning into a different career, a different industry right now, or very soon from seeing this reading here. And then we also have here justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. Like I said, the universe is using you guys as a tool to help other souls. Okay, so you are other people's justice in a way. You may be used in a lot of ways by the universe, by spirit, to help others find their voice or help others speak up for themselves and advocate for themselves. Or maybe you guys are in some way supposed to serve as that justice for other people. So some of you guys, you may even have a career in law, or that may be something that you guys eventually get into, maybe law enforcement even, or just like I said, it's going to be very personal to your own experience and your own past. So that, like that example that I use, let's say that like you guys experienced some sort of, you know, you had a bad experience with church growing up. This is you guys eventually either like leaving the church or creating and establishing your own church, where people can come and be their own leaders and learn to step into their own power. And you guys encourage that. Okay. Like I said, kings, when they are upright, they encourage other leaders. That's what makes a true leader. Leaders don't tell other people, I know everything and you're dumb or you're stupid or you're inferior. That's not a true leader. Leaders don't disempower people, but it's meant to be synergetic. It's meant to feed both parties. So leadership, in a lot of ways, when your ego isn't in it, it's meant to be a collaboration. And that's what you guys have a really good and wise understanding of, is that as a leader, there's a responsibility that comes with it. Okay, let's see if there's anything in you guys' natal chart that is meant to give you guys, okay, we have here 10th house, VIP access status. And this says public image, reputation, career, long-term goals, fame, recognition, ambition, respect, achievement, honor, success, potential, authority. Underneath that, we have Aquarius. So some of you guys, your 10th house may be ruled by Aquarius. And then underneath the deck here, we also have here second house, material goods, money, value, security, work ethic, income, expenses, career, possessions, budgeting, assets, financial stability, and personal finances. So this is something that you guys' soul came here to experience, or came here to do, is to have a 10th house and a second house experience. So second house, it talks about what we own. It also talks about how we produce things, how we bring things into form, into tangible form. So second house is going to be ruled by Taurus. 10th house is going to be ruled by Capricorn. These are both earth energies here. And so earth may be very, very prevalent in you guys' natal chart here. But you guys may have some really big transits happening in your 10th house or second house, or about to. So with the 10th house and the second house, 10th house talks about ambition. It talks about legacy. It talks about the footprint that we leave behind in our life. This is basically what we've worked our entire lives for. And so the 10th house, it sits at the very top of the chart because it describes the place that we aspire to get to. That is the pinnacle of what we would love to reach in life. So for you guys here, this is definitely your soul coming through and saying that it chose this life to have a 10th house and a second house experience. You guys are meant to experience 10th house, building, creating, and leaving behind some sort of really big legacy. Something you're meant to come here and do something very significant. Like I said, some of you guys were told like you had nothing to contribute, you have nothing valuable to contribute. That could not be further from the truth. If you have ever heard that before, or if anyone has ever said that to you before, it can be further from the truth with your 10th house card right here. Like it says, VIP access. This is, again, your soul saying that it came here to have a 10th house experience. Most people, most souls don't always get to see their 10th house come to fruition, because it is that difficult of a place to realize in astrology. It's something, again, like I said, we work our entire lives to get to this point. And so it doesn't always have to do with career and your professional life. A 10th house for somebody could mean, like, let's say that their 10th house is ruled by Libra, then that could be somebody's legacy in life could be leaving behind a really good partnership or a really good marriage for their kids and their grandkids and their family members and friends to be inspired by, or to aspire to have that sort of loving connection in their life. So it doesn't just have to do with career and things like that. It's going to depend on how your 10th house is basically positioned in your chart. But again, this is all about what you leave behind. So your soul definitely came here to experience a 10th house realization or manifestation, as well as a second house. Second house talks about what we personally own. So for you guys, you guys are meant to feel in control. You're meant to experience some form of leadership, some form of like owning something, being in control, being a leader. In other words, owning something when we're talking about the second house. This could even be that your soul is saying that it came here to experience, when it comes to the second house, like maybe being wealthy or having a lot of money, making a lot of money, maybe making money when it comes to following your purpose, following your dreams, and seeing that sort of manifest through financial means as well. So these are two very big influences for the reason why your soul incarnated or chose this life as well. And then a final message for you guys. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we have here potion. It says invigoration and empowerment. What have we been talking about your whole reading? This is about you guys finding and realizing your own power. You have a lot of power in your voice, a lot of power in your words. You are powerful. Okay. So I'm going to read this out of the book. And underneath the deck here, we have hedge, potential, boundaries, and indecision. Wow. Like I said, could be somebody or something in your life that tried to make you second guess yourself and tried to make you doubt yourself. And it tried to steal the faith in yourself, the faith that you had in yourself. It definitely didn't want to, this power, person, character, experience, whatever. It really did not want you to realize who you were. And just like there's like this sort of like pathway here in this hedge card. Yeah. I feel as though you guys are coming up on a part of your path where this is all being activated or this is all being realized for you, is just how powerful you are. And some of you guys, you're even realizing that like you're very gifted or skilled when it comes to potions or energy work or magic. This could be like witchcraft for some of you, if that's something that some of you guys are into, or just like working with herbs, working with the earth, working with manifestation, setting intentions, stuff like that, using your magical powers. But I'm gonna read potion out of the book. So 1 second. And potion says, the potion card tells you that a small infusion of intention, even just a drop, can invigorate you and get you back on track if you are feeling out of control. Any act done with intention can stimulate forward momentum. Yeah, this is exactly what we talked about for you guys. This is basically you guys like being a movement in your own right. It says choosing to empower yourself with a small gesture of concentrated magic can refresh you enough to galvanize your motivation. This may be as simple as casting a basic spell or meditating in nature. Not every action needs to be huge, and not every change is immediate and sweeping. Do not discount the magic that a tiny gesture or moment can create. Just a small drop will do. And the reflection here says, what energizes you on a daily basis? And pile 1, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with your tarot cards. Then I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards to do a little read into you guys' Akashic records and see why your soul specifically chose this life and incarnation to manifest into. So let's get started with you guys' tarot cards here. Very first one that we have is the Ace of Cups. Then we have Death in reverse. Then we have the Queen of Wands upright. And then 8 of Cups. And this was your underneath the deck energy. Okay, wow. So I wonder if you guys have had a lot of different relationships, romantic connections, friendships, associates. I don't know if some of you travel a lot or are always on the move. Maybe you have a big family, because that's what this energy here feels like for some of you. For a good amount of you drawn to this pile, there's someone in your life or someone that you've known that you imprinted on big time. You may not have noticed it because you might not have felt that way, but to them you were really beautiful or really interesting or very charismatic or super confident, and you are the really bright light in other people's lives, whether they have told you that or not. You guys have played a hand in other people's transformation with the Death card in reverse right here. And so this is other people experiencing some sort of awakening or activation because of you with this Queen of Wands over here. So basically, you guys in this pile, I wouldn't be shocked if you have dealt with like unrequited affection situations or love where people like fell in love with you that you didn't have those deep feelings for. You just couldn't return that same like affection. It's like you couldn't affirm them in that way when it came to a connection. And so you guys may feel like you've never been in love before. You may have had issues with people not wanting to let you go with this Death in reverse card right here. And when this card shows up, it can somewhat talk about obsession a little bit. because this card is ruled by Scorpio, or more so it can talk about a refusal to move on, I should say. With death, you see people pleading to death, like, please let me live. If you guys, you might be able to see that sort of in this card here. You see a king underneath death right here. He's already died. And then you see like these two small kids. They look like kids, and then a priest right here. And they're sort of either grieving or pleading with death, or they're trying to. And so, in this card, you can kind of see it as a refusal to move on, because people are sitting here sort of begging death, like, please let me live. If they had the option, they would choose to stay in the land of the living and not part with their corporal body. Death card talks about transporting the soul from one form into the next. But we don't get a choice when it comes to the death card. In reverse, death can talk about people refusing to move on from a certain situation. That situation in this particular reading would be you. So there could be a lot of people that you've experienced in your life that refuse to move on from you. They get very attached with the Queen of Wands over here. Very, very, very specific message also coming in that I need to say, and then we'll get back to the other one. This is for like a small group of people here. But pile 2, there was like a certain promise spirit made to you, which is why your soul is back here to claim that promise with this Ace of Cups right here in you guys' reading. There was like a big sacrifice that you guys made in a past life, and it had to do with some sort of experience that you didn't get to have. Spirit promised you that you would get that chance in this life. If you guys believe in past lives, some of you may have this really strong feeling that you didn't have a long life in your past life. So there was like a lot that you didn't get to do with death card in reverse right here. And that's one reason that your soul came back, was to have some sort of experience that it didn't get to have in a recent past life. We'll see what comes out with your oracle messages. Back to the original message though, coming through here, is that your soul chose to come here, pile 2, because it has, or it will play a very significant role in someone else's journey and their lesson about self-love, acceptance, forgiveness, evolution, boundaries, and learning to walk away with this 8 of Cups right here, or learning to move on in life, like we talked about with this death in reverse right here. Your presence or your aura with the Queen of Wands is very regal and inspirational to a lot of people. This could be your family members that look up to you, or people that you work with or have had relationships with. This might even be strangers that see you, and there's something about the way that you carry yourself that people would like to embody with the Queen of Wands. You also have inspired a lot of people to not be so attached with this 8 of Cups right here, and to have enough self-respect to choose themselves with the Ace of Cups over everything else. So you guys might not even realize how much of an impact that you have had on others, because so few people have changed the way that you see life. And so few people have changed you the way that you've changed them. So it's not just like unrequited love. It's also like unrequited impact. It's like other people haven't necessarily impacted you the way that you've impacted them in some situations. That's funny. But yeah, so you might underplay as well, pile 2, just how much you guys have influenced others. But that's definitely not something to doubt, pile 2. That's one big reason that your soul chose this life as well, was to actually not do a lot of transforming, which might sound weird. But you guys have spent a lot of lifetimes transmuting, transforming, healing, and becoming. This lifetime, you were meant to just be you. There's not a lot of ways that, this sounds so weird, but it's like your guides are showing me you as like a flower that's already bloomed, it's already blossomed. Like there's no need for you guys to you can't blossom or bloom anymore, because it's like you already have. This lifetime, you guys were meant to just be you, to learn how to truly accept all of you without feeling pressured to change and transform. With death in reverse right here, death talks about permanent change. So you were really meant to keep your inner child intact and not really deviate from it. A lot of us were finding our ways back to our inner child. For a lot of you guys in this pile, if you were intuitively drawn to this pile, a lot of you guys, you never really parted from your inner child. Like it's still there. And there's something about that. It's like the more in tune somebody is with their inner child, the more lively they are, the more alive they seem. That's always been an intention of you guys' soul in this life with the Queen of Wands. Also, your soul chose this life to experience what it was like to put your talents on display and realize just how special you are, because again, a lot of you are so unaware of just how impactful you are and how much people admire and look up to you. So again, you guys are really just sort of, your soul is really just kind of here to just experience what it's like to just be without having to do too much. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, pile 2. Let's grab some oracle cards for you. See what comes out. Underneath the deck here, we have Networker. This is definitely that Queen of Wands. And then we have here Knight. Light attributes, loyalty, romance, and chivalry. A love of honor. Shadow says allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle. Romantic delusions. Networker says here enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. And then Shadow says conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So with Knight and Networker, it's really interesting because I was talking about how some of you guys, you may have experienced people falling in love with you and you don't really fall in love with them. And it talks about romantic delusions in this Knight card right here. But also what I'm picking up with a Knight is like people may view a lot of you guys, pile 2, as like someone to save them. And that may be a really big turnoff for a lot of you guys. You may not like the pressure that it puts on you to kind of be someone's reason to get up in the morning or be motivated or take care of themselves. And that may be a very common experience for you guys in relationships with your friends, with your lovers, or, you know, other relationships and connections in your life where, again, people view you as a knight. And that's just not really something that, from what it feels like to me anyways, it's not something that is like okay with a lot of you in this pile. You'd prefer to not be seen as someone else's savior. But your soul also came here to experience what it was like to be a knight, in the sense that you guys get to experience what it's like to be able to take care of yourself and to not need a savior or to not need someone else. And then with a networker, what I'm picking up with the networker card is that this Queen of Wands, it feels very, very connected to your Queen of Wands here. Just somebody that is maybe naturally social or a social butterfly, or someone that people want to connect with, they want to work with, they want to get to know, or they want to socialize with. It's almost like people want to be in your presence, or they want to be in your network. They want to maybe be considered a friend of yours, whether you guys realize that or not. That's how a lot of people see you, as like a knight, somebody that can save them or help them or connect them to something important. Or it's like you guys make other people feel important. You make them feel good. You make them feel seen. So that's another thing that you guys as soul kind of came here to experience. Is this sense of, again, just like being you guys' own answer, being you guys' own savior with the Knight card. And also maybe on some levels sharing information, like this networker card talks about. It says enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. That is another thing that you guys as soul came here to experience, is like, what is it like to be a part of a larger network or a larger collective, or to be a part of maybe a movement, or to be a part of social change? Or what is it like to come here and make others feel seen and to make others feel connected in a sense. So you guys also provide other souls, other people with a sense of connection and community. And that's another thing that makes people kind of get attached to you guys as well. Let's see what the cosmos have to say about why your soul came here, or anything that may stand out in you guys' natal chart from your AKASHIC records. Okay, we have here you guys see that? Fifth house. Fifth house is like it's basically like the house of like flirting and romance. So like the seventh house deals with like commitment, partnership, marriage. It deals with one-on-one connections and relationships. So these are like, the seventh house would deal with like the relationships that we didn't inherit in this life. The fifth house is basically like what precedes the 7th house, it's sort of like helps us get to the 7th house. So it's like you wouldn't have married your partner if you guys didn't have like a strong attraction to each other, or if like you didn't enjoy dating each other. And so it's like that enjoyment of being around someone, it starts in the 5th house, which eventually leads to maybe like serious partnerships. But like I said, there's like some unrequited love situations for you guys, or maybe you guys have viewed connections in your past as like casual, whereas other people were like ready to settle down and go like long term with you. So it's interesting that 5th house came up, because like it says, 5th house, the house of pleasure, romance, creativity, fertility, sex, children, childlike fun, joy, love, passion, entertainment, art, culture, and hobbies. So yeah, 5th house is basically like the house of fun, in other words. And then we have here Lilith, taboo. It says darkness, untamed intensity, independence, erotic, sexual liberation, temptation, secret desires, fetishes, shadow side, empowerment, destruction. You guys come off as powerful. You guys also come off as mysterious, extremely different, very unique. That is who Lilith was. In some of the legends, she was Adam's first wife who refused to submit to Adam. So God told Lilith, like, either you can submit to your husband and serve your husband, or you're banished from the Garden of Eden and you have to go out into the wilderness. And she chose to go out into the wilderness, and she ends up becoming the mother of demons, according to some of the stories. So with Lilith here, she is somebody that embraces her wildness. She embraces her darkness. She embraces the parts of her that society, that is not widely accepted. She doesn't see any part of her as problematic or as bad or as toxic. She sees it as though there's something wrong with the rules. There's something wrong with the system. There's something wrong with the way that things are. And so Lilith, in a lot of ways, she kind of talks about like embracing your own power, where even if others are afraid of it or don't agree with it or don't like it, you always stay true to yourself first. And so I think that's another thing that makes you guys really attractive to other people. But that is something else that you guys' soul came here to experience, was embracing your wild side. Like I said, your guides were showing me a flower that had already bloomed. It fully bloomed. There was nothing more to do for that flower. It had already like fully kind of like opened up. And that's exactly kind of how I'm seeing Lilith for you guys as well, is like you guys embrace every single part of you. And that is what makes you so beautiful to other people. And that's also what inspires other people around you. It's like they wish they could be as bold or as courageous, or, you know, they wish that they could be maybe as empowered and not be afraid of their own differences, or not be afraid of the things that make them different, and not be afraid of their own darkness. And it's like, a lot of us out here in this world, we're still trying to work on accepting ourselves fully. And there's something about you guys where even if you don't accept yourself fully, it's how you come off. It's how people read you. And so 5th house here, it makes a lot of people fall in love with you. So 5th house is like the house that I describe as like falling in love with someone. And a lot of people, they fall in love with that Lilith side of you that is empowered, and no matter who agrees with it or disagrees with it. So that's another thing that you guys' soul came here to experience, was actually 5th house. So your soul actually came here to experience maybe a lot of sort of casual situations, or what it's like to casually date, what it's like to embrace your sexuality, what it's like to be fully liberated, fully blossomed, fully understand yourself, and fully accept yourself. With 5th house and Lilith here, these are two really interesting energies. Some of you guys, you may even have Lilith present in your 5th house. And so again, that would be some sort of a journey where it's like you guys are learning how to really embrace your sexuality. You're learning how to embrace sex. You're learning how to enjoy pleasure and to not be ashamed of it, because it's crazy, but the world will definitely tell people that, pleasure is, especially women. The world will definitely try to shame women from experiencing pleasure and having pleasure. So that's something that it's like for you guys, it's like you don't really care about what society has to say. Or that's just the way, again, that you guys come off. And that's also something that your soul came here to experience. Okay. Let's see what we get with your life purpose cards here. Okay. So we have here healer underneath the deck. And then we have here counseling. Some of you guys, you could be like romance counselors or therapists, like, couples counseling. Maybe you guys help people heal their relationships, or maybe even heal they're, what's that called? Like a tantric healer, I think. I don't know much about it, but that could be something that you guys are you feel like called to do. So we have your counseling and healer, and that's exactly what counselors are. They are healers, or they help people to realize their own healing abilities, and they sort of help people to like connect their own dots. And so again, like I said, with Night over here, a lot of people view you guys as their savior. So I'm not shocked that we got counselor and healer here. And it says you heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. And that is just something that people really love about you, but also something that your soul came here to do is that I kind of feel like you guys just naturally have counseling abilities and healing abilities. It says you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. That's another thing that you guys' soul came here to do. Or to experience, was to really be a healer and to truly embrace your Lilith energy. For some of you too, now that this healer card came out and Lilith, some of you have maybe come around to embracing your inner witch, we'll call it, just where you guys like are embracing certain powers that maybe you were told not to, that maybe you were told were bad or evil. Like, let's just say for some of you, it's like you are connecting to your ancestral roots that practice voodoo, and it's like you were raised or you heard your whole life growing up that was evil, and it's like for you it's something that really speaks to your soul. So some of you guys, you could be having that kind of experience too, where it's like you're connecting to these really, really deep, wild parts of you that maybe other people try to suppress, or they try to tell you was like, that's bad, don't connect to that, that's evil. And you guys are finding power in accepting the parts of you that maybe other people were trying to tell you not to, or trying to tell you that it was bad. And you guys are realizing that not only that there's power there, but that there's healing there, and that there's something beautiful there, and there's something light there. So that could be something else that you guys' soul came here to experience, was you guys may have, I did say some of you guys in a past life, if you believe in past lives, you may have had a short life in your past life. So maybe that could have been more symbolic as well, where it's like some of you maybe weren't allowed to practice. Let's say you weren't allowed to practice witchcraft in a past life, right? And now it's like you have that sort of trauma in your energy or in your soul, that your soul is actually purging, where it's like, no, we're going to fully embrace our inner witch. We're going to fully embrace our own personal beliefs, even if society says it's not good. You know, we incarnated at this specific point in time in history because people are allowed to believe in what they want to believe in. Not in every part of the world, but you know, slowly over time, things have become a little more lenient in certain parts of the world. So that could be another thing that you guys are really waking up and realizing is like, oh my God, I totally resonate with this belief system or religion or whatever it may be. We also have here the sleeper, and underneath the deck here, we have the hunter, sure-footedness and predestination. Like I said, you guys come off as very confident. Like the hunter here says, sure-footedness and predestination. It's like you guys know exactly, this is how you guys read. This is how you guys come off. This is how you're coming off to me in your energy, in your card, just off your cards here. You guys come off as somebody that seems confident. You seem like you know what you are predestined to do. It's like you guys, you know, like came here knowing what you're supposed to do. And there's something that's so beautiful about that. There's something that's so endearing about that. It's really inspirational. It's refreshing for people to see someone like you, or at least, again, that's how you come off to other people. It's like, wow, you really don't second guess yourself. You really don't second guess your heart or what you feel drawn to or connected to. It's like you just go for it. You put all of you into what you believe in and what feels right for you. And again, that's refreshing. So you guys' soul also came here to experience that sense of confidence in yourself and just in life in general. And then we have here the sleeper, cause and effect and clarity. So this is also you guys' soul coming here to experience more clarity. And I feel as though it's more clarity when it comes to you and who you are. Like I said, your guides show me a flower that it fully bloomed. And They're also telling me to tell you guys the details of the flower that they showed me. It's not a rose. It almost looks like a carnation, but it's a blue flower. So I don't know if blue is significant for some of you. Maybe some of you guys' favorite color is blue, or I don't know, maybe you guys have been working on throat chakra or using blue lights, or I don't know, but they're telling me to tell you the details. But they showed me like a blue, it looks like a rose, but I want to guess maybe it's like a carnation, but I'm not sure. I'm not that like educated when it comes to flowers. They're beautiful, but I don't know all the flowers out there. But yeah, so for you guys, it's like your soul also came here to awaken a part of you that was sleeping. Okay, with the sleeper right here. Some of you guys, you may have been slightly interested in pile 1 too. There's a few messages in pile 1 for some of you guys in this pile. Okay, and then just a final message here. Okay, we have here basil that came out, and it says prosperity, luck, and love. Underneath that, we have harvest. It says determination, hard work, and broom, energy clearing and refreshing. And then underneath the deck here, we have for you trunk, stability, loyalty, reliability. So I'm going to read basil out of the book. So 1 second. And basil says, basil is one of the most versatile herbs in a green witch's toolkit. Full of positive energy, can draw good things into your life. Basil has been known to dispel fear, confusion, or any weakness, and was even used as an aromatic by ancient Greeks to attract love. In this way, basil is all about forward movement. The basil card tells you that the time is right for something that you may have been hesitant about in the past. The time for planning and preparing is over. Go forth with confidence. Go forth with confidence, you guys. Like I said, you guys, like, you read or you come off as very confident. And so it's time for you guys. The message here is it's time for you guys to go forward with confidence. It says it is an auspicious time. This is a great moment to indulge in love or take a risk, just like you guys' 5th house pleasure card right here. And like I've been saying your whole reading, there's been people that have been like very in love with you. But it says here, basil has your back and luck is on your side. And reflection here says, have you been scared to take a leap or a risk that may pay off greatly? So there's some sort of a risk here that you guys may be seeing as a risk or a leap of faith, but it's going to pay off a lot. And you guys have a lot of good luck working behind you, and even luck with prosperity and love. So even work with basil if you guys feel called or drawn to basil lately. Maybe for some of you, you've been working on like gardening and you want to plant a basil plant or something like that. I don't know, but basil may be calling out to you guys personally. So yeah, for sure. Maybe even start incorporating basil for those of you guys that do like energy work. Basil may be meant for you guys right now to really use to bring in, to draw in that luck when it comes to taking whatever that leap of faith may be or that risk. Okay. And that may sort of minimize the risks involved in some sort of like leap or opportunity that is about to come into you guys' life or just recently came into you guys' life. But pile 2, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed. Keep conquering the world, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with you guys' tarot cards, and I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards to look into your Akashic records, do a little bit of reading on that, to see why your soul chose this life or to incarnate into this specific timeline. So let's get started. The very first tarot card that we have for you is we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Then we have the Devil card upright. Then the Two of Wands. The High Priestess. And the Five of Pentacles. Okay, pile 3. Yeah. So we have Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Starting off with that, this card says in a past life, you guys were not aligned with your destiny. Maybe you didn't believe you had one. Maybe you guys resisted a lot of things that were happening in your life. Maybe you felt cursed with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, that you weren't so interested to see how things were going to play out with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse right here and this Devil card. So your soul chose this life because it refused to accept how things played out last time. And it basically said, you know, like, let's run that back. That's what this Wheel of Fortune in reverse card is basically saying. You guys left a lot of your energetic signature behind, that it basically pulled you from that past incarnation into this one. And your soul could not rest with how things played out last time. You guys' soul had a choice big time with either staying on the other side or experiencing this human journey again with the Two of Wands right here. And what pulled you guys back is you may have felt like in a past life, like your demons won in some way. Like you just could not escape them, or like you didn't get a proper shot at life because what you were carrying was just too heavy, or how you came into your last life was just, you came in with so many disadvantages that it seemed like there was a lot of cards and circumstances and factors kind of stacked up against you. And so your soul feels as though it was robbed in a past incarnation somehow. And it chose to come back and fight for the freedom to exist without this devil energy or presence here. And you guys in this pile, you may feel like you've been fighting generational traumas or demons or certain cycles for a long time. But in this life, a lot of you guys are so determined that no misfortune is big enough to stop you or steal your right to life again. With this Five of Pentacles right here, there's an eternal fire in you guys to never give up no matter what. And with the High Priestess here, you guys may have a feeling that you have to see something through, and that there's a spiritual reason or meaning behind everything that you have survived in this life. I wouldn't be shocked if some of you were born during a full moon. One way to kind of know if you're born during a full moon is if your sun and moon oppose in your natal chart. That would be a good indicator of that you could have possibly been born during a full moon. If they are in opposing signs, or maybe you could have been born when the moon was waxing. Because like here, like normally people, when they're born during full moons, from the charts that I've read for people personally, when they're born during full moons, they inherit a lot of awareness, a lot of spiritual awareness, a lot of awareness of their soul, a lot of awareness of spiritual dynamics and dualities and lessons. They basically are born with a lot of spiritual power. And anytime you kind of come into this human incarnation with like a lot of spiritual awareness or power, you also sort of inherit really heavier lessons than most people, because, and my theory is that the universe does that to keep power in check, to make sure that we're not really like abusing that power. And so I feel as though people that are pretty much born with like a lot of spiritual awareness, they usually end up going through lessons that maybe appear bigger or are bigger or feel heavier. And so anytime you have that spiritual awareness, that means that you also have maybe more of a knowledge or understanding of karma and how karma works. Or you just always have this presence. You can always feel a sense of karma around you. So I wouldn't be shocked if those of you that were intuitively drawn to this pile, if you were born during a full moon, or maybe you could have like a Leo moon or a Cancer moon or a moon in Taurus, because moon is exalted in Taurus, moon is at home in Cancer. Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun, it provides this extra energy and force and momentum behind things because the sun is so bright and it's so large in our solar system. So if you have moon in that sign, it can almost like parallel the effects of being born with a full moon, a natal full moon. And you don't have to have any of those placements or transits in your own chart in order for this reading to apply to you. But I wouldn't be shocked, especially with the High Priestess here who is ruled by the moon. I definitely wouldn't be shocked. And you guys also have the Wheel of Fortune card right here. It is in reverse, but the Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is known as basically like the guru, the spiritual guru in astrology, where he's very, very wise. He's very knowledgeable. He is very aware. but he's also very mature when it comes to that. Like he honors that wisdom, and he views it as sacred. And that might be one of the reasons why Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. Anyways, though, there's like an eternal fire in you guys. It's always lit. It's always burning. And so for you guys, it's like, it's about never giving up. And with the High Priestess here, a lot of you may have a sense that you have to see something through in this life no matter what. And there's a spiritual reason or meaning behind everything that you guys have survived in this life. You guys also have a very powerful gift here with the High Priestess to see beyond the veil and to clearly perceive the spirits and frequencies that are at work behind a lot of situations and experiences and trials that you have gone through in your life. You guys are able to see spiritual afflictions on others as well. And you have a gift at purging these spiritual agendas. You guys have the spiritual authority to rid yourself and others of even curses, hexes, or demonic activity that is at work. And when I say demonic activity, that is more than likely going to be a personal definition for each of you. To me, a demon is a malignant entity. It's nothing more than a conscious frequency whose intentions operate at a lower vibration, and it wants to corrupt others' energetic fields. So you guys' soul is also very gifted at sort of seeing these sort of frequencies, I guess, if you want to view it that way, or demons, if you want to view it that, however it is that you want to view it, you guys are able to really see that. But you're going to perceive it differently. You know, for some people, what one person calls a demon, another person might call a spiritual affliction. Someone else might call a mental disorder. Someone else may call it a disease. Someone else may call it a spiritual infestation. Someone else may view it as a lower frequency, or a bout of misfortune, or a blockage. There's all these different words and all these different definitions for basically kind of the same thing, but it's all going to shift depending on your perception of it. So, you guys may sort of look at something and be like, that's off, or, maybe that just didn't set right in your spirit, or maybe that kind of gave you a kick in your gut, or maybe you're sort of like, my boyfriend calls it spidey senses. It could be like something that just sort of triggers or sets off or activates like your spidey senses, your intuitive triggers, where it's like, that doesn't feel right. They don't feel right. The situation doesn't feel right. And like I said, you put the label on it that feels right for you, but you guys are very gifted at being able to view beyond that veil. Like I was saying with the High Priestess and the Two of Wands right here, to see what is behind certain situations or people or energies. With this Devil card right here, you guys are able to see right through that. Like with this Devil card right here, oh God, that was supposed to have been covered up this whole time. 1 second. But with this Devil card right here, there's two beings that are in chains, and the devil is behind them. And that's kind of to say that, and same thing with the High Priestess, there's a tapestry behind her. And that basically, when that happens in tarot, when there's sort of like something behind characters or behind people in tarot, that's basically to say like there's a veil there. So, and a veil is going to symbolize this sort of like barrier that is keeping people from seeing clearly and accurately exactly what's at play at the core of a situation or at the center of a situation. So basically, with this Devil card right here, these two people, they're in chains, but what they might not be aware of is the fact that the being that has enslaved them is this devilish character or this devilish figure. You guys' soul too is also gifted at setting protective barriers, but you are engaged in spiritual battles pretty often. For a lot of you in this pile, it's something that your soul seems dedicated to doing or working at, is fighting back spiritually. And it wants to do that from the human side of things. So your soul came here to help others heal as well. Also with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, your soul came here to learn how to reclaim time that's been lost to different life experiences, like maybe addiction or codependency or trauma or stagnancy, or more so just being in survival mode. Because when you're just focused on getting by or getting through with the Five of Pentacles right here, you're not truly living, and your soul wanted to learn how to overcome that loss and how to get back on track with the Two of Wands right here. There's also a plethora I'm hearing a spiritual knowledge that has been left behind that your soul needed to realize with this Two of Wands right here in order to retrieve it with this High Priestess. Before you incarnated here, your soul was adamant about remembering in this life that God is always with you and you are never alone with the High Priestess. It was important for you to see what life could be like with God by your side, or realizing that this just entity, this force of nothing but unconditional love is always looking out for you and is always by your side and accepts you through all your flaws, mistakes, choices. It was important for you guys to see what life could be like with God by your side. And because this Two of Wands and High Priestess, it's a really important pair in your reading here. The High Priestess is the Major Arcana 2 card, which means she rules or is present within the Minor Arcana 2 cards. And High Priestess is actually the spiritual version of the Hierophant, or religion in general. In other words, it's the informal, organic, instinctual side of believing in something or believing in a higher power, where you might identify with the God in you before seeing it as this external entity. The way that it is sort of presented in religion, in these formal institutions, how they may present God as like it's this entity that you have to serve and worship. But it really starts within first, that connection has to be developed and kind of like established, or I should say realize. We have to become aware that we're always connected to God, no matter what. And I believe that it starts there before we get involved in maybe like some sort of like formal worship, or maybe religion helps us realize that we are and always have been connected to God. So yeah, High Priestess being ruled by the moon here says divine knowledge and all of our answers are living and they can be found within us. To go outside the self is voluntary, but not necessary. So God can be found within. And that's another experience that your soul wanted to have as well. It wanted to come here and really realize that. Okay, so let's start grabbing some oracle cards. Let's see what comes up. Okay, what slid out here? Let's see what this is. We have here guide. You guys see that? It says light attribute represents the nature of the divine. And what did I just say about you guys as High Priestess? That this is God. This is the God being living within you, realizing that God is within you. And it says represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. You guys are a guide. Okay, so basically this is your soul saying that you guys came back to, or you chose this life to be a guide to maybe other people as well, or maybe even yourself, to kind of be a guide and sort of realize like, I can guide myself. The God within me is guiding me, is sort of like leading me, or, the saying like ordering my steps. And then we have here hero, heroine. Wow, you guys, what did I say? And look, warrior, like I said, you guys are here to fight a lot of spiritual battles. We have warrior and hero or heroine. That's crazy. And then let's see what else slid out. We have here healer. Did I mention that you guys might be a healer? I think I did. But that's crazy that all these came out from guide to hero, heroine, warrior, and healer. They're all kind of saying the same thing, that you guys are here. Like I said, you guys have a lot of spiritual knowledge. It's like you guys, your soul left behind an energetic signature. I did say that in your reading, that your soul came back here to reclaim and retrieve. And basically it's doing that because your soul has a lot of spiritual knowledge, which is why, to me, it sort of feels like if we were to translate that astrologically, it sort of feels like on my end, a lot of you may have been born during the time where the moon was in a full phase, or the moon was waxing maybe. It feels like you guys have a lot of spiritual power, like you're really connected to your own spiritual essence. And that is because a lot of you guys, your soul came back here to fight a lot of spiritual battles, because you guys are aware that there are certain forces, energetic forces and entities at play in behind a lot of situations, and people don't necessarily see that. Like, for instance, people may be, this is just an example, but let's just say that like there is a family where there's a lot of falling outs within every single generation. People have a falling out with their father over and over and over and over again. this is almost like the evidence of there's something spiritual traveling down that family line. If you want to look at it that way, you don't have to. Like I said in you guys' reading, there's a million different ways to look at the same exact thing. And we all sit around and argue over the labels and the words. For what reason? I don't know why, because it is a total waste of energy and time. But we're all basically just describing the same thing from different viewpoints. So it comes out different. We use different words and we have different ways of describing the same thing. But anyways, let's just say for instance, through every single generation, people keep having issues with the father, or they cut off the father, or they don't speak to the father, or they don't know the father. There's a lot of divorce, there's a lot of separation, there's a lot of breakage in one single family down the family line. That can be evidence of some sort of a spiritual agenda that is happening throughout that bloodline or throughout that family. It started somewhere. And even I've heard even some doctors in certain podcasts say that, trauma, it travels in the DNA. It gets ingrained in strains of DNA and passed down through the mother. And this can be present in several generations, which is why it's so important to do these energetic cleansing and these generational cleansings, when we decide to have children or expand our families or get married or involve other people in our life. It's so important. And not to get all woo-woo on you guys, but even me, like when I found out I was pregnant, I went into so much prayer, but thank God it's like I'm surrounded by a lot of loved ones, family, friends that were praying over me, my partner, our child, like when I was pregnant one of the main prayers was like to flush out whatever is in our generational line. We can't control everything when it comes to our ancestors and what they did and the choices that they made, or our parents. And, there's a lot of choices and decisions that maybe we look back on and we go, oh, I wish I could change that, or I would change that if I could go back. But either which way, there's a lot of experiences that we've had, maybe even traumas that we've had. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Devil card right here. Like I said, you guys' soul in a past life, it sort of feels like it didn't get a fair shot at life because it was dealing with so much heaviness. It could have been heaviness from addiction or affliction with the Five of Pentacles right here. It feels like it just inherited a lot of disadvantages and like there were a lot of things working against it in a past life for a lot of you guys. And so in this life, you may have come into this life very aware of the fact that it's like, I see what's been running through my family. I see what's going on here. And you guys have always maybe blamed it on something spiritual or energetic. A lot of you guys are spiritually aware in this pile. If you were intuitively drawn to this pile, you guys are spiritually aware of the fact that there is something spiritual going on. There's something energetic going on here and it needs to be flushed out. And damn it, I'm the one to do it. And that a lot of you guys have taken on that role of like, I'm going to get rid of this for my family. I'm going to do this for my line. I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this for my child. I'm going to do this for my loved ones. I'm going to do this for my partner. And you guys have really done that. Look at your cards here. Healer, guide, hero, heroine, warrior. They're all saying the same thing. You guys are a spiritual guide. You have come here to almost be the hero or the heroine. You guys are looked at as the hero or the heroine in this life because you have healed a lot of things, and you've healed a lot of things because you have spiritually fought against a lot of sort of energies or entities or demons, if you want to call it that, in your own life and in your own bloodline. Okay. And you guys have directly, and your soul has directly been called into this life. It's been almost like pulled into this life because it's like, no, like I said, with your Wheel of Fortune in reverse, let's run that back. I know what that was. Let me go back and fix this. Let me go back and heal this. Let me go back and fight this. Because now I realize my own power. Now I realize God is always by my side. My ancestors are always behind me. My angels surround me. I know what I'm able to do and capable of now. Let me go back and actually give this a real shot. And that is why a lot of you guys' soul is here. And that is also why a lot of you guys are gifted at being able to see these spiritual afflictions or demons, in other words. Okay. So yeah, all these cards are basically confirming what I said in you guys' reading here. Did I read these light attributes, dark shadow attributes for these cards? I can't remember. Anyways, warrior here says light attributes: strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. Shadow says trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. With hero, heroine, light attribute says passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Exactly. Shadow, escapism, and a false sense of heroism. Healer here says light attributes, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. And shadow says taking advantage of those who need help, feeling to care for oneself. Yeah, you guys definitely came back to be all of this for yourself and others as well. So some of you guys, you may even feel like kind of called to be a healer and other people, for other people. We have here practice, polish your skills by practicing regularly. Okay, so that's another thing that you guys' soul came back here to do, is to practice with its own spiritual abilities and talents and powers, stuff like that, to basically kind of see it on display and to see like, oh wow, like I am able to do this. I am able to do that. And then we have here, talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. You guys talk to your angels because they're very nearby. They're close by, especially when you come into this life as a spiritual warrior. You know, the universe does not send you here as a spiritual warrior without an army around you and by your side and behind you. You're here to fight a battle. Okay, right? Like, so a warrior, they need what? They need their weapons. They need an army. They need a purpose. They need, you know, there's an actual, they need a target or an enemy to actually go up against. So you guys have a lot of guides around you as well, because I'm kind of seeing guide to me. Guide is kind of coming through to me for you guys, is like you also being surrounded by a lot of guides in your life. And that high priestess can also be saying that, because the high priestess, in a lot of ways, she represents the intuition in tarot, and our intuition can also be seen as like a guide, sort of like this voice that's sort of giving us these intuitive nudges to do this or avoid that. So you guys also have a lot of guides that's present in your reading or present in your incarnation as well. You guys may also be very aware of your spiritual team that's around you. And let's see what, wow, Leo. Okay, so we have here Leo. Does something else flip up? Oh yeah, we got Pluto. So we have Pluto, Leo, and opposition, confrontation. Interesting. I said that some of you guys, you may have been born with your moon in Leo, okay, or born during a full moon. And the way to sort of see that in your natal chart is if your sun opposes your moon. You guys have the opposition card here. That's an aspect. It means that two planets or more than two planets are opposing each other. They're on opposite ends of your chart. So yeah, we've got opposition Leo and Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of permanent change, transformation. It's going to represent things like alchemy, transmutation. So Pluto she is a really deep planet in astrology. I mean, all the planets are, but Pluto, she is being the furthest planet from the sun. She's probably the most misunderstood. I would say Pluto and actually Venus are the most misunderstood planets in astrology, in my opinion, because Venus is seen as like this very shallow, superficial planet. I don't know why. And Pluto is just like, she's so mysterious because she's so far away. We know so little about her. But with Pluto, she's definitely going to represent things like it says here, renewal, evolution, transformation, Scorpio, beginnings, endings, rebirth, turbulence, destruction, hidden power. Yeah, you guys are realizing your hidden power, core truths, intensity, highs and lows. Like I said, you guys are going to be aware of the actual energies that's at the core or at the center of a lot of situations in your life. So yeah, core truths. Pluto, she allows you the ability, and Scorpio energy as well, it allows you the ability to see straight through people and situations, to see what their true agenda is or what their true intentions are. That is totally Scorpio energy all day, Pluto energy, because Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, and Mars in astrology, it represents intentions, what we are driven to do, represents passions. So these are the things that we feel like we need to do it, especially when it comes to survival. So yeah, you guys, and kind of like what we talked about here with your Five of Pentacles, being in survival mode. And then opposition here says confrontation, reflecting, mirroring, seeking balance, tests, interaction, push-pull dynamic, internal conflicts, uncertainty, wavering, acknowledgement, and respect. So when it comes to oppositions, again, this is just about two or more planets being, they're opposing each other. So it's sort of like if you're sitting at two opposite ends of a dinner table with someone else, and you guys are sort of facing off with each other. And it doesn't always, even though it's a harsh aspect, it doesn't always mean that it is going to manifest in a challenging way or a difficult way. It can, and it more than likely will, but it doesn't always mean that, because it's going to depend on the planets involved and the signs that they're in, with that opposition and the rest of the chart. But yeah, for you guys, opposition, this is total confirmation of what we were talking about with your tarot cards here, that you guys' soul came here to battle or oppose these lower vibrational forces and agendas and entities, with the Devil card right here, Two of Wands right here. You guys are opposing them and saying like, I'm going to represent the higher vibration. I'm going to represent the light. I'm going to come here and oppose you and fight you and stand off with you. Okay. As a warrior, what do warriors do? They go up against oppositions. That's the challenge for them. Okay. And then we have here Leo, the showstopper. It says enthusiastic, generous, magnetic, pretentious, show off, bossy, extroverted, proud, headstrong, loyal, seeks approval, loving, and ruler of the 5th house. And so Leo, again, like we talked about, is ruled by the sun. So Leo is a very, very powerful sign. It's a fixed fire sign. And it is definitely one of those signs that is working with a lot of power because it's ruled by the sun, who represents personal power. This is the way that you wield your personal power when it comes to the sun sign in astrology. So it's all about, what are you doing with that power? We all come into this life with a certain power or certain talents or certain abilities and capabilities, and what do we do with it? So yeah, with Leo here, you guys have, this is basically confirmation that you guys have a lot of spiritual power, a lot of spiritual authority, because Leo being ruled by the sun also represents authority and authority figures in astrology. So you guys, you came into this life with a lot of spiritual authority, and the ability to even see that power in action. Because with Leo and the sun's the brightest thing in the sky. That means it's very easy to see. So you guys' power is very easy to see or witness. And what people or you may be witnessing is your spiritual talents in healing or in guiding or in being a warrior and fighting certain things off. Like I said, when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, you guys are also gifted in being able to purge certain lower vibrational energies or demonic entities out of people's lives. You guys are able to remove hexes and curses and evil eyes from people. And you guys may even notice that people come back to you and go, my life got better, or things cleared up, or you guys, like, you really actually, healed this in my life. You guys may hear that a lot, or you will at some point in your life as you embrace the spiritual power here. Let's grab another card for you. Oop, okay. We have, what does it say? The pathless, difficult decisions and lack of direction. And underneath the deck here, we have the brawler, lack of empathy and confrontation. Again, it's like the cards for confrontation, battling, opposition, warrior, it keeps coming out over and over for you. So the brawler is like somebody that they brawl, they fight, and this is you guys' soul just having that fire, that eternal fire that I called, that I referred to in you guys' reading here, is like, there's this eternal fire always like burning in you guys. There's this passion that you can't snuff out when it comes to, once you guys realize what is at the root of a situation or a challenge or a blockage or a trauma or an experience in your life, it's like you guys, you can't help but to go after it with a ruthlessness. You guys are spiritually ruthless when it comes to certain energies that are there solely to hurt and cause trauma and to inflict people and to oppress people. It just activates something in you guys. And that is the brawler for you guys. And then with the pathless here, difficult decisions and lack of direction. You guys see all these hands here? To me, it looks like a lot of hands reaching out to you guys, reaching out to your soul for help. That's what it looks like. And you see the way that they're sort of like wrapping this, whatever this is called. I see like boxers do it, like in boxing matches and stuff. They wrap that stuff around their hands before they put the little, what are those called? The gloves on to go box. That's you guys' spirit. That's you guys' soul. Is like you came into this soul ready, okay? Ready to help these souls that need you. And yeah, it's really interesting. You know how some people say like, that they had like a praying grandmother or praying grandfather that really kept their family together or kept their family protected. That's going to be you guys. Whether or not you have kids, people are going to look at y'all as like, that person helped me. This person prayed for me. But it might even be where people just see you like spiritually as the spiritual mother or a spiritual father or the spiritual figure, like a spiritual guru in their life, or because you guys have helped them. You've helped them, you've saved them, you've healed them. And yeah, it's just something that you don't take lightly. You guys do not take this lightly at all, because you know what's going down. You know what's going on. Okay, let's get a final card here. We have underneath the deck, Earth, Peace, and Grounding. And what came out for you, we have the Sun. Healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. Like we've been talking about with the Sun, and the Sun rules who? Leo. Okay? And it's funny because the Sun and Pluto, they kind of, I see them as opposing forces because Pluto's the furthest thing from the Sun, but it's just interesting because we have the opposition card right here. All right, and the Sun says, the Sun is the main source of life on our planet. It holds great power in the Green Witch practice. It gives us light, which feeds plant life and is essential to the process of photosynthesis. From these plants comes oxygen, nourishing us when we breathe. Sunlight also brings comfort to our bodies, easing chills and dampness, healing us, helping us stay warm. The Sun card is associated with robust health and healing illnesses. Like I said, you guys have the power to heal afflictions, whether that be spiritual afflictions or what. And it says the light chases away the darkness. You guys, just like warrior or hero or guide or healer, it says the light chases away the darkness. This is that devil energy, you guys chasing that away, and encourages joy and happiness. This is you guys healing people of these spiritual afflictions, chasing away the darkness in their life. It says, let light in to illuminate dark corners in your life. Allow optimism into your heart to encourage you. There are bright times ahead. And the reflection here says, what needs healing in your life? What needs comfort and attention? All right, pile 3, we're definitely done with your reading. Like, that is it. At this point, your cards just keep saying the same thing. Anyways, though, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, an amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully y'all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, stay safe, healthy, blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards here. Then I'm going to be pulling some additional oracle cards to do a little bit of an Akashic Records check-in to see why your soul chose this life or it chose to incarnate on this specific timeline. So getting started with you guys' tarot cards, the very first one that we have is the Page of Wands in reverse. Then the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles upright. And then the Nine of Cups. That is your under the deck energy. So pile 4, your soul chose this life because it wants to complete a mission or a purpose. There's something that in a past life your soul was working towards, and it never got to see something through to completion with both of these pages in reverse here. It also never got to see something grow with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It saw something start but not necessarily grow. And basically like your soul never got to see where something would end up, and that has stayed a part of you from one incarnation to the next. So you may have incarnated here feeling like you had something to do at a very young age. There may have been certain milestones you always felt you would eventually reach, and you knew this from a young age. Like, for example, this would be some of you saying like you always knew you'd maybe be a business owner or build your own house or get married or have a big family or get into acting, for instance. Like you always knew or had this strong feeling that fueled you and guided you. So a lot of you guys probably never guessed if something was going to happen in your life with this Queen of Pentacles right here, and the Nine of Cups underneath the deck. Page of Wands is a card that talks about wand related activities, and Wands deals with a vision, passion, drive, talents, the things that lights us up or fuels us, and it makes us feel alive because it's that fire energy. So Wands is going to deal with spirit. And when we're dealing with spirit, we're dealing with things that inspire us, basically, things that drive us or they impassion us. And pages are like students or novices. They are new to something, but they're also on the right track. And they can also be viewed as carriers or even representatives for the queen and king. So they're going places, in other words. All they need is time to eventually get to that knight status and then a queen and a king. So in reverse, the Page of Wands says that your soul is still harboring some sort of a past life vision or aspiration or desire. And with it in reverse, your soul never saw it come to life. Maybe it never got time to actually express that or focus on that or manifest that or build that vision. Same with your Page of Pentacles here. There's something important here that your soul came back to, again, finish building. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so it's a happy ending. Nine of Cups that your soul feels entitled to. And this could be maybe emotional fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. But either way, it's rewarding work to look back on something and be able to say, like, I got to see this through. So this also might be repairing something that your soul saw as damaged or broken or, again, incomplete. And that's something that you wanted to basically handle. And your soul has this idea as well that only you can do this job, or only you can bring this to completion. Only you can see this through. Also, your soul may have a really strong focus on getting away from anything surface level. There's a deep desire here or need for true connection, and not just in relationships, but even in your work, for instance, just feeling like there's meaning and purpose in it. You guys have a natural ability or talent to remove layers and go beyond the surface and beyond the ego. So you may notice that you disarm people very easily, pile 4, with both of your pages being in reverse right here. It's easy to either read people or get them to open up, but you guys more than likely avoid superficial people, experiences, situations, because there's so little that you can do with that or learn from it. And your soul wants connection because it craves experience, and connection provides experience. So for you guys, it's like you're looking for something to plant yourself in with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You want to give all of yourself. You want to pour all of your power, all of your attention, all of your energy and focus into something in this life. And you guys kind of came into this life at a young age knowing that there was like maybe one sort of focus, one sort of area of focus that you were really going to dive into heavily. And this may have taken some time to figure out with your Page of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles all in reverse. This may have taken some time to figure out, or this could take some time for you guys to figure out. There may be certain sort of like life experiences or chapters that you need to get past first so you can completely throw yourself into this. Or at a young age, you guys threw yourself into one area of focus or one area of study. And that has just been your main focus. It's been your main driving point. It's been your sort of like focal point. It's been this like central sort of focus for you, or will be at a certain point. Also, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of you are really good at being alone if you were intuitively drawn to this pile. So that could be something that your soul also came back here to experience. Some of you may have known at a young age, like, I don't want to settle down, or I don't want to have a family, or it's like your purpose or your focus in life, your legacy really consumes you. That for you is your family. And for some of you in this pile, it's like you don't really feel like you're missing out on that experience, because like I said, it's like a lot of you guys, you crave something deeper, and you are aware that a lot of maybe people or situations can't necessarily provide that. So for you, it's not like this deep desire for a lot of you to have maybe a family or have like a lot of friends or have, it's just, you may have just always been comfortable being alone, being kind of like a lone wolf. Like this Nine of Cups right here and this Queen of Pentacles, you guys may do really, really good by yourself, and you may have your own routine, and you may really appreciate that. And that could be another thing that your soul came here to experience. Maybe in a past life, for a lot of you, maybe you were born into a big family. Maybe you had a family and you didn't want to in a past life because there was like something that you wanted to focus on. So in this life, it's like you guys are really taking advantage of that ability to choose what you want to focus your life's work on, or your energy on. And for a lot of you, again, you came in knowing very young, like, I don't want to have a family. I want to sort of be able to pick up and go where I want to go and do what I want to do. And so, yeah, for a lot of you, you don't want to, your work is your family. Queen of Pentacles right here, Nine of Cups, and you're very content with that, very at peace with that. You wouldn't have it any other way for some of you. And like I said, for others of you, if you do have certain people or relationships, connections in your life, they're very deep, and you may only have like one good friend, or you may get into a relationship and that may be your person, and that's, that's all you really need. You don't need a lot when it comes to connections, because for you, it's like quality over quantity. For sure, especially with this Queen of Pentacles right here. Some of you too, I keep picking up, is like you want to live away from people. You guys, maybe, I don't know if you want to live like completely like away from the city, or like in the mountains, or like out in the forest or the woods or something. It's like you guys want to have a home that's like really far away from people. I don't know why that keeps coming through. So some of you just know that you will be, if you haven't already, you will definitely be purchasing a property or home, or maybe a lot of land. This could be like you guys purchasing a lot of land. Some of you may want to own your own farm or your own garden or something, or build that. You may want to build your home from scratch, so you guys can kind of like start your own farm and have like start a garden or something very like naturey, woodsy about your pile here. So some of you guys, you may have come into this life, my pile fours, and you may have been born into a really big family, and you may kind of want to get away from that because you were always surrounded by a lot of people. And it's like you guys are peopled out. If I could describe it, like it's like you're sort of like peopled out, and you want some alone time. And you guys, like, you really thrive being alone, and some people truly just thrive being alone. It's not that deep for them to have like 20,000 friends and to have like all these exes running around and I make them sound like pets, but you know what I mean? Like for some people, it's not that deep to be alone. It's not. And it's not like something where it's like, oh, I was betrayed by this person, that person, and I'm afraid of connection, or I still carry that, or no, it's just some people are naturally really, really, really good by themselves. And especially in today's time, it's like you really don't necessarily need a community anymore. Like now that you can just like Instacart your groceries, it's like, or you can just go pick up some food somewhere. It's like, it's not that necessary anymore to be surrounded by this community. Our ancestors needed it back then to survive. But nowadays it's like, you really could fare by yourself and you'd be just fine. But what I'm feeling with you guys is like, you really love that sense of peace and quiet. And there is something about you guys for sure, owning your own property, owning a lot of land. I wouldn't be shocked if you guys in this pile, you either do or will end up owning a lot of land, like a lot of acres, and surrounding yourself maybe with animals or a farm or a garden, maybe living out in the woods, something like that. I wouldn't be shocked if you guys kind of end up exploring that type of lifestyle, because again, you guys' soul really came here to experience that. Okay, let's grab some oracle cards here to see what else comes out for you. So we have here mentor, and it says light attributes, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. Shadow says inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instructions. And then we have here king underneath the deck that says light attributes, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. Shadow says excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without restraint. Like I said, the pages are sort of like students. They're on the right track, but they're on their way to becoming their own queen or king, becoming their own mentor in a sense. So you guys are sort of, it feels like in your pile, you guys, you want to spend your time learning something. You want to plant yourself somewhere. So, and what I mean by that is like, you guys want to, you guys would be my pile where it's like you spend your life's work studying fossil fuels. It's just an example, but That's you guys' like energy, is like you spend your life's work becoming a composer or studying archaeology. Like there's something so niche about your pile. Your pile is very nuanced. And so I'm not shocked that mentor came out here, where it's like you guys just want to learn. That's, or you guys are a mentor yourself and you're teaching other people. And like we have here, King is also confirming the message that's coming up for me, where it's like you guys are really comfortable being alone. Maybe you guys being alone, it makes you sort of like, it gives you that sensation of like, this is my domain. I'm king or queen or ruler of this area. This is my home. These are my things. I don't have to worry about people coming in and, changing this or ruining that. Like everything is just, this is my universe. This is my world. I have my own little world in the corner of the world somewhere. And that's what it really feels like with this king card. So I'm really not shocked that came out. Okay, so we have here mentor and king for you. Let's see what we get in terms of you guys' astrological energy, why your soul came into this life. You guys' soul definitely came into this life to feel like a king of your own castle, and maybe even to mentor other people. You guys may have a mentor. We have here Gemini, the investigator. Yeah, again, and Gemini is the sign that, it's ruled by the twins. So it can have a lot to do with like maybe twins or soulmates or relationships, stuff like that. But if we go deeper in understanding Gemini, Gemini rules the third house. And the third house is all about learning. It's all about information, data. It is, again, a student. So this is early education when we're dealing with the third house that Gemini rules. And Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. Mercury is a lord of the mind. And Mercury is a processor of information. He processes stimuli. He processes the environment that he's in. And he passes on the information that he gains, which is why Gemini's mascot is the twins, to basically sort of showcase that this is about information, data, facts, being passed back and forth. It's about communication. So for Gemini to come out here and it's the investigator, like I said, a lot of you guys, it's like you're going to spend a lot of your life just focusing on or researching or investigating or pouring yourself into one specific subject or work. So with Gemini, the investigator coming out, it's really interesting. It says here, curious, social, knowledgeable, analytical, intellectual, quick-witted, anxious, outgoing, inquisitive, easily bored, ruler of the third house. Yeah, exactly. These all would perfectly describe you, I feel like. Curious, knowledgeable, analytical. But it also says here social. So you guys may be really, really social. You may be good at socializing, in other words. And with King here, I could see that. I could totally see that. I still kind of feel like you guys are really good at being lone wolves, but you guys may also there may be another side of you as well that is social and that is extroverted, because Gemini can kind of talk about being dualistic or having two sides to a person. And then we have here Jupiter underneath the deck. And it's interesting because Jupiter is currently transiting the sign of Gemini. So there's something that during this transit, your soul is going to realize there's something really important about this Jupiter and Gemini transit that your soul came here to experience. And Jupiter is the planet of abundance. He definitely does rule abundance, as well as like good luck and fortune, expansion, things like that. Jupiter is also known as like the guru in astrology. He is extremely wise. He's going to deal with things like resonance, and he rules the 9th house, which opposes Gemini, and the 3rd house. So a Jupiter card here says growth, expansion, Sagittarius and Pisces. Thursday, higher education, philosophy, good luck, optimism, faith, generosity, and prosperity. So you know what's really interesting about Jupiter coming out? Like I said, it rules the 9th house. So it naturally opposes Gemini in the 3rd house. Like I said, the 3rd house is all about early education, and the 9th house, which is ruled by Jupiter, is all about higher education. It's when we take the things that we've learned and we convert it into knowledge, which then becomes wisdom through experience. So this is you guys putting that education to work. There's this interesting thing happening here where it's like you guys are learning, mentoring, like you're learning something, pages right here, pages in reverse, in order to become the queen or the king or the mentor. It's like the student becoming the teacher eventually. So that's really interesting. But like I said, with Jupiter and Gemini, there's something really important happening during this Jupiter and Gemini transit. Jupiter is still transiting Gemini, and it will for the next like few months here. It'll be moving into Cancer at some point in 2025. I don't know the exact date. Hold on. Let me look it up though. Okay. So Jupiter is going to be in Gemini. It's been in Gemini since May 25th of 2024 and will stay there until June 9th of this year, 2025. So there's something happening from last May until this June for you guys it's really important to the reason that your soul incarnated here. So there could be something that you guys discover or learn, maybe about yourself or whatever your focus of study is or whatever your interest is in. There's something that you guys maybe learn. Maybe there's some sort of an opportunity that you guys take on. This could be when you guys are able to move into your own home or something along those lines. There's something significant, like a significant life experience or opportunity happening during that time for you guys. And it's going to be one of the main reasons that your soul chose to incarnate here. So there could be something that's significant that's happened between last May and now, or between now and June of this year, possibly for you guys. 9 of Cups is going to feel like something that's, again, very rewarding for you with the 9 of Cups right here. Let's see what we get for you guys with a life purpose card. We have here writing. So some of you guys, you could be writers, and then we have sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive and you need to make changes accordingly. So you guys could be becoming more sensitive, and that may be why as well too. Some of you may want to maybe move away from the city. I don't know why I keep getting that. You guys want to live far away from people. But if that's the case, this could be the answer to that, or this could be the reason why, is because you guys are becoming more and more sensitive to your surroundings. You guys are becoming more aware of your surroundings. You guys could be living near a ley line, and that may be something that's been really impacting you or affecting you. There could be something with you guys' air quality, or maybe you're living near factories, or there could be something with you guys' environment that has really encouraged you to move away or to get more into nature, move closer to nature, move away from these sort of environments that have been really impacted by like maybe factories, and they maybe affected the air quality around you guys, or the pollution that's in the water. I mean, there's something about you guys becoming more sensitive and really being more in tune about what you're consuming, what's in your body, and you guys really wanting to be more in control of it. That could be why you guys too are feeling, or that could be why I picked up some of you guys, you want to maybe start your own garden, or maybe like have your own farm, or start homesteading. You guys could be really motivated right now to what's that called, like farm to table, I don't know, but it's like where you guys are like farming fresh. I don't know exactly what it's called, but basically where you guys have a lot of control over what you're consuming and what is around you. So this could be, if that's the case, this could definitely be why you guys are becoming more energetically sensitive to your environment, and you really want to move to a place that's better for you, that's healthier for you, that's safer for you. And then we have here writing. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. So you guys, you may have a gift with automatic writing. That could be something that your soul inherited in this life as well, is the ability or the talent with automatic writing. Or you guys could just be really, one of you guys' like legacies here could be to write something, to compose something, to maybe this is you guys like writing down whatever your study has been and sort of like recording everything that you learn or everything that you pick up, or, you know, whatever it is that you guys spend your life's work doing, or your legacy doing. You guys may want to record that or leave it behind, or, You may be writing a book. You guys may be an author. And that may be as well why some of you in this pile, you want to live alone so you can kind of focus on maybe writing something, or this could even be temporary. This could be temporary for those of you that are like maybe writers, or you're focused on publishing something this year or becoming an author. You guys may be wanting to temporarily move away to kind of get that inspiration so you can just focus on getting this project out. If that's the case, again, you guys may be very sensitive to what's around you, and it could be impacting you guys' ability to finish or complete this project. Oh my God, that's what I kept saying during you guys' tarot cards. When I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, your soul came back here to complete something. And it's going to be very rewarding with the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. That could be what you guys feel like you need to complete, is some sort of project when it comes to writing, recording your information, composing something, publishing something. You guys may end up publishing something or finishing a book or finishing writing something by June of this year, 2025. That may be something that you guys do very within the year. Okay. So even if you're saying this is a timeless reading, so even if you're saying this after June of 2025, when Jupiter moves out of Gemini, Jupiter spends around a year in every sign. So that kind of tells me with Jupiter and Gemini right here, that within a year, you guys may complete some really big project that your soul came here again to finish or to complete and to see something to completion. And it's going to be extremely rewarding for you all. See what else we get here. Okay, we have here the astronomer. Exactly. It says discovery and augury. Okay, this is like, yeah, it just feels like you guys are here to discover something, learn something, record something. That's what you guys really want to focus on right now. Even if you have a family of your own, you guys are really focused on, like I said, some of you may be sort of getting these sort of life chapters out of the way so you can really pour yourself into something. But like astronomers, it is their life's focus. It is their main interest in life is to study the cosmos, study the stars, and learn what they can about it. And then we have here the alchemist, and it says balance, invention, destruction. You guys may be like inventors. You may be really knowledgeable with technology. You guys may be like building something. Yeah, I did say that with your Page of Pentacles in reverse. You guys came here to finish building something. You guys may be like scientists, inventors, alchemists. I don't know what that says. I think that says something in Latin. I don't know. Et coagula. Let it coagulate. Is that what that means? I don't know. You guys may know. For those of you that know Latin, I don't know what that says on this card here. But it's the alchemist. So yeah, you guys are focused on turning nothing into something, because that's what alchemists do. They are really good at taking something in one element and transforming or transmuting it into something completely different. And that's what you guys came here to do. You came here to see that through to completion. So some of you guys, you may be very interested in astronomy. Some of you guys, you may even be astrologers, really interested in the stars. You may track the movements of the cosmos and the transits. You could be really, really in tune with that. But we have here the alchemist and the astronomer. So some of you may even use astrology or astronomy to alchemize your life or to transmute certain things in your life. You may wait for certain transits to manifest certain things. Just know, if that's the case, that is a huge talent that your soul came into this life with. And then a final message for my pile 4 people. Okay, we have winter, an ending, recharging, and reflection. And then we have oak tree underneath the deck, power, courage, and strength. And winter, it's sort of, it says recharging right here, recharging, reflection, and ending. And we are in a 9-year right now. And number 9, it definitely talks about ending sort of energy, or this is like the energy of like closure, closing things out, drawing things to an end. But with winter, it also is giving me that feeling, or it's sort of confirming that feeling that kept coming through for you guys, that you're not bothered with being alone and being in solitude. And like it says, recharge, reflection, and ending. So some of you guys, you may even be taking this time right now during the winter. We are currently in the winter season, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Some of you guys, you may be taking the winter right now to sort of just kind of be in solitude, be alone, sort of sit with yourself, just focus on your work, or focus on something that you want to pour all of your attention into. So one second, I'm going to read that out of the book. And winter says, winter is a quiet time. Yeah, you guys, this pile felt very quiet. I know Gemini here talked about being social. So like I said, you guys could have like two sides of you, where it's like you're able to socialize, or you're able to be extroverted when you want to or when you need to. But I feel like you guys' a social battery, or like I said earlier, it's like you guys are all peopled out and you just sort of want to maybe spend some time alone. But yeah, it says here, winter is a quiet time. In nature, most plant life is suspended. Animals are hibernating and food becomes scarce. Winter tells you that the end of something is coming or has already happened. Don't lament. This also means there's an opportunity for something new and better. In every end, there is a beginning. The cycle of nature never stops. The winter card encourages rest and reflection on what has come to be. Mourn if you need to. Identify the things that went well and what you want to do differently. As you engage in this reflection, remember to look ahead to spring and begin to consider what projects you would like to focus on next, using the knowledge that you have gained from this time of assessment. And the reflection here says, what big lessons have you learned after slowing down and allowing yourself time to reflect on what has ended or passed? So that kind of makes sense. At the time that you guys see this reading, it could be a while after I post this reading, because like I said, this is timeless. But at the time that you guys see this reading, you may be spending some time reflecting. That may be a personal choice of you guys. It's like, I just want to be alone. I just want to get some time to myself. And you guys may be reflecting right now in order to recharge, or again, just making this personal choice to focus on maybe your education, maybe school, maybe work, or whatever this personal interest is for you guys. And like the sensitivity card came out here and said, like, you guys are very sensitive right now to certain energies. So you may be very sensitive to certain people, certain experiences, certain environments. And you may know that right now I need to recharge. You guys are very sensitive in your physical body, and you're being, it's like you're living intuitively, a lot of you at this time, where it's like, you may know that you need more nature in your life. You may know that you need more sleep. You may know that you need time alone. And you guys are really listening to that, and you're really honoring what you're feeling, what you're sensing for yourself. And it's going to allow you guys to pour into the very spaces that you want to pour into, because that's a really huge reason as to why you guys' soul chose this life, is to come here and pour yourself into the spaces that it needs to and that it wants to. So when it comes time to, rest and recharge and reflect, you guys are going to do just that, because there's also an opportunity here, or there's a transitioning happening here where you guys are kind of closing out or ending one thing to begin something else. And that may be what's happening before June of this year, 2025. Or within the next year. You guys will definitely be seeing yourself maybe publishing something, writing something, bringing some sort of job here to completion. Like we talked about your tarot cards here, that is one of the main reasons that your soul incarnated here, was to see something through, some sort of life work through, and to finally be able to see it to completion and feel rewarded by that. And you guys will be seeing that within the next year. You guys either started or completed or get a far away with it. And it's going to bring you guys like a lot of, it's just going to feel very rewarding for you guys with the 9 of Cups here and the Queen of Pentacles. But pile 4, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you guys come back to visit sometime soon. But please stay safe, healthy, blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.